for one night. I would have liked to stay here a couple of days. And my rear ABS light is on again. This thing goes on. Last time was in Moab, and I went to that really great garage there, and I had a little leak in my rear brake line, and they fixed it. Oh, it came loose. Oh, maybe I ought to just get back there and see. I checked my brake fluid. It was a little low, not bad. I topped it off. But this light goes on and off quite frequently. Home sweet home. Where's Capone? Home sweet home. After driving, it's been a long day. I think it's like 4 o'clock. I left at, 9 o'clock this morning? And I stopped a lot. But yeah, so I'm finally home for the night. Still deep in the Ozarks. Actually, I think I'm in Ozark County, Missouri. And I'm in not Mark Twain, not Daniel Boone. Davy Crockett, maybe Daniel Boone National Forest. And I had to drive actually through the National Forest and a lot of the residential areas into the wilderness area to find this. And I almost turned around and went back to the spot that I originally landed at. I had navigated to a camping spot on a creek that I found on freecampsites.net, but oh my God, it was ugly. I'll have to stop on the way out tomorrow and take some video to show you. Very barren. It's in a flash flood zone. They said be careful in the spring, and it's right below a highway. So it was really ugly, really exposed. I mean, of course, I'd get a lot of sun there, but it was pretty ugly. This is where I stopped the other day. The destination that I had mapped out for camping, but I took one look at it and I was like, yeah, no. And I'm really glad I didn't stay here. I would have just stayed here one night. But I ended up finding a spot I really liked. Stayed 3 nights. Ooh, garbage. Oh, garbage! Yay! Yay! But yeah, look at this. Pretty bleak. And it was pretty muddy. Not a very pretty place to camp. I mean, the bridge is pretty, the river was pretty, but I don't like being this out in the open. And another reason I didn't camp here is because it's really close to this road and it's really easy to access, which means that as I experienced off the interstate in, where was it? In North Carolina. Remember the Midnight Visitors? The Midnight Visitors video? Places like this are gonna get people coming through in the middle of the night. And, you know, this is where people are gonna come to do drugs, to drink, you know, and I got a little bit of experience in this area, you know? When you're looking for a quiet place with nobody around to do your business, this is the type of place that you're gonna go. It's easily accessible. There's nobody down here. You can hide under the bridge. And so these are the reasons I usually try to avoid areas like this. So that's a good tip for anybody. It's easy to access, and so it might be tempting, but this is also a really good place for people to go and, you know, do whatever they need to do late at night, out of sight, of people. And you may or may not want to be around people doing drugs, doing lines, shooting up, having sex, whatever. But I would rather not at this point in my life. I would rather avoid those things. And so that's another reason why I didn't stay here. As you can see, though, looking around, it might be a nice place to hang out during the day. Actually, if I was driving through at lunchtime, this would be a really great place to stop and have lunch and enjoy the river. And, you know, just kind of enjoy the views. So I'm just outside of Hilda, Missouri. Partying spots. That's what it is. I try to avoid partying spots. It's not necessarily even that I'm worried about my safety parking in a partying spot. Of course, that is one aspect of it. But another aspect of it is that, you know, sleeping alone in an RV, you're on alert, and I just don't want to be woken up in the middle of the night like I was with the midnight visitors, kind of being on guard, wondering what people are doing by my camp in the middle of the night. That's just a reality of being on the road. I think anybody who is alone in a quiet place, who has traffic right outside their rig in the middle of the night, is going to wake up and just be on alert a little bit and just, you know, until they go, just figuring out what's going on. Every nomad I know, this is being aware of your surroundings. This is what keeps us safe. You know, if we ignore things, then that's when we get in danger. And so a lot of people think I'm crazy being out here alone, and they think that I'm really brave or that I'm really crazy or a little bit of both. But it really is just about trusting your gut, knowing your surroundings, being mindful of the places that you choose to camp, and then if you do have to camp in a place that, you know, you suspect there might be some activity, being on alert when that activity does happen. I'm going to be more on alert in a place like this or on the interstate in the North Carolina video than I probably am in a national forest. Well, although if anybody pulls up next to me in the middle of the night, I'm going to be on alert. You know, I mean, it would be stupid not to be on alert. So that's just another tip, just another survival lesson of being on the road alone, and how I am able to survive out here without living in fear, but being cautious and listening to my gut and being aware of my surroundings and just being mindful about where I plop down for the night. And that's why I did not choose this not so lovely spot. This is also another sign that you probably don't want to camp here. Vandalism, litter, report crime. I suspect this gets some partying use. So these are signs that this is not going to be a peaceful place to camp. Yeah, okay. With a name like Kissy Mills, public use area. Yeah. And I don't like being that far out in the open, right on the side of a road. You know, this at least I'm a little bit out of the way. I'm still on the side of the Wilderness National Forest road. And can you see, this is the most level I could get. I tried backing all the way down there, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And finally, after much maneuvering and getting out the blocks, I'm actually pretty level here. Took a while. Took a lot of back and forth, a lot of maneuvering. And it's been raining a lot, so I have to be really careful not to be doing too much maneuvering back and forth in soft ground. I don't want to get stuck. I did just get new front tires. And they resealed the two back outer tires because those had slow leaks in them, and my passenger side is still low. It's leaking still. So I've had that tire checked 3 times. There's no leaks in it. They resealed it, and it's still got a leak in it. So maybe the rim is bent. You would think that of everybody who checked that, they would have noticed that the rim was bent, but it's got to be. I mean, if they keep sealing the tire and it's still leaking, to me that says that the rim's bent and there's not a good seal there. So I'm going to have to get that checked out. But I'm really close to Branson. Can you see it? I don't know. It's really close. what do they call it? The mothership. I call it the mothership. That's not really what it is. There's a cell tower really close by. I've got 5 bars of 4G on Verizon. I don't know what I have on AT&T. So anyway, this is going to be home for the night. It's chilly. I don't think it broke 50 degrees today. Look at, not bad, huh? The Ozarks is everything you would expect it to be so far. Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, it's really, I don't know. I don't think I would have ever imagined that people, I don't know if I should say this, but people in our country live this way. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of poverty. Yeah, really interesting. All right, I'm going to take them home for a walk. Just wanted to show you where we ended up. Badge and Elle are heading toward Arizona. This was too gloomy for them. They needed warmth and sun, so they took off toward Arizona this morning. And me, I'm still lollygagging. Yeah. Not quite done. Here comes a car. Come on, Capone. So after 3 nights in my cozy little spot here in Ozarks, I am heading to Branson. I'm going to leave today. So yeah, 3 very peaceful, quiet nights here in the wilderness. It is Twain National Forest. And I've seen rangers drive by, a sheriff drove by this morning, lots of locals, and you know, been totally peaceful and nobody bothered me. So it was a legal site. So it's a little bit of a sigh of relief, but I looked it up and it didn't say anything about not parking really close to roads. And yeah, I mean, it's a wilderness national forest road, so it didn't get a ton of traffic. And I have a cell tower right over there, and I had some pretty decent hiking. I was able to go back into the woods there and hike down a trail about a mile. There is private property. Well, I didn't see private property signs, but I did see a house down the hill. So the wilderness probably butts up against private property. And if I had gone much further, I think I would have ended up on the private property of the house that I saw down there. But yeah, just another successful boondocking spot. Got to spend 3 nights here. Really quiet, really pretty. I remember being in the southern states in the summer with the noisy sound of the cicadas and the crickets and all the stuff that come out at night, and I was like, I can't wait to get back to the desert where it's just nothing but silence at night. And here I am in Missouri, and it's pretty darn quiet at night, and it's cold, it's beautiful. Fall is here, and so now I'm going into Branson to pick up my mail, and I did see a couple of glass shops, so I'm going to see if I can pick up a piece of glass. Most of the time it has to be ordered, and I just haven't been able to get to it. But actually my goal all along has been to wait till I get to Quartzsite. There's lots of opportunity there. I'm going to be there for a while. Lots of opportunity there. So I'm probably just going to wait till I get to Quartzsite. But I have some time to kill before my mail gets there. So maybe I'll see if I can just get it fixed real quick. For the rest of the journey, it might be nice to have that fixed. But I'm in no hurry. I don't mind. Leaving my boondocking spot in Twain National Forest in the wilderness. So this was pretty cool because the National Forest, of course, has private property, just like every place in this part of the country. But if you drive through the private property, you get to wilderness. And actually, I think this is the first time I've ever boondocked in wilderness area. Usually there aren't a lot of roads. Wow, looks like they're building a road there. So that's private property though.